Nigerians, nobody go fit tell Tinubu wetin dis lawyer just tell Tinubu for im face for inside dis video. Dis lawyer don expose a lot for dis interview you guys are seeing on dis background. Make una no allow President Tinubu or any APC supporter to see dis video. After lis ten ing to dis particular video you guys are seeing on dis background here, I don finally see the reason why VDM very dark man talk say na only fool na go vote for APC 2027. Nigerians, make una wake up, make una hear dis lawyer. E no reaction for so many questions wey dey ask am for inside dis particular video about 2027 and Peter Obi, Tinubu and Atiku Abubakar.
Manifesto and specifics from the candidate. We'll come back to it before we round up. But you've severally argued that without a single candidate in 2027, defeating President Bola Ahmed Tinubu electorally at the polls is going to be Herculean, if not totally impossible. Expatiate on this. What do you mean exactly?
Let me say very importantly, the lesson from Osun, the lesson from the Osun elections are very manifold. Very unfortunately, so many people emotively and emotionally are running to the town to say that the APC is defeatable. But the first corollary, which is very important, is the fact that Adeleke is an incumbent, and so is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And so you start from the known to the unknown.
So you actually think the incumbency factor played a key role in the Osun election?
Far more formidable in this issue, yes, because the people are saying that, and there's this cliche that is universal, the devil you know is better than the angel you don't know. Now, don't forget also that, and this will hurt the obedience deeply, that the same way Buhari told us he will fight corruption, the same way Buhari gave us an impression of a Spartan manager of resources, which was the reason in 2013, 2014, his campaign developed life. And so many people felt if we don't have a Buhari, Nigeria will be doomed. It's the same mantra. I will save money, I will fight corruption. You know, and we didn't demand of President Muhammad Buhari, when he was a candidate, a clear-cut manifesto. It is that same mistake that Nigerians are running into. And that's why I'm saying, because I supported Buhari in 2014, yeah. I was the DG of Change Ambassadors of Nigeria. I won't lead Nigeria through that same route again. Nigerians wanted a Spartan president, a manager of resources, a man who hated corruption, the same way we're presenting Peter Gregory. I want something deeper. And that's what I'm telling my brothers and sisters. Let's make the Obi campaign deeper than those issues that, because Buhari is one of the greatest problems that even the APC is saying, oh, he didn't manage our economy well, we're trying to repair it. Now, fundamentally, the Ekiti scenario, people talking about the people's power.
Osun scenario.
In the Osun scenario, people are talking about people's power, but they have forgotten that Adeleke is an incumbent. They're talking about his having served the people. They also forget that the people know him already. Now, if you want to give them an alternative, there must be a formidable alternative. And I'm speaking deeply here. The APC and the many governors who got into Osun was not a seemingly formidable alternative. They wanted an alternative from within. And I'm speaking deeply here. If we want a 2027 that offers a new deal, a new tendency, a new hope, and a new day, then the opposition, like I've always said, must coalesce. We need a formidable opposition that can take out the seeming failure that we have today. And the way to do that is, and I thank God for what the G100 is doing, engaging with the opposition factors and individuals to see if they can truly coalesce and give us a single candidate. Because the Osun story has been twisted, if you like. by the opposition is that, oh, the people will decide what happens in 2027. But they are almost ignorant of the fact that long before the Osun election, Adeleke had said that whilst running for governor under Accord, his choice of presidential candidate and ticket is Tinubu. He hasn't pretended an ounce about it. So on the one hand, he has said to the nation and the Osun people that he will support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And so what that tells you is the fact that the man that you're saying is supported by the people hasn't pretended about his love for Tinubu. I think the opposition must learn to think clearly.
Let me put it right there, because in the group where I belong, this conversation about this double...
And in thanking the people, he boldly reiterated that position, that he is grateful to Mr. President for allowing the processes of democracy, but his commitment to supporting the president come 2027 is ironclad.
Okay, but you see, that promise means next to nothing. Some other narrative. You know why? Number one, Adeleke is making that promise, number one, for safety purposes. Don't forget, the federal government is still withholding the local government funds that belongs to Osun State. And that is huge. How Adeleke has been able to sustain the local government hitherto remains a mystery. But guess what? The space for litigation is still open. And you and I know, Prof, that until the Supreme Court pronounces on this election outcome, it's not over yet. Adeleke, as a wise man, realizes that he needs to placate the president. Because the hawks within the APC may go tell the president, see, Mr. President, you've congratulated this guy, which is okay, but we need to take Osun by force or by hook or crook. Don't you think that is what Adeleke is playing?
No, let me shock you.
Yes.
The windows for litigation continues even until after the next presidential election. I hope you're aware. Our law hasn't tightened.
What I mean is that if the APC goes to court, what I mean is if
the
the
APC
APC goes to
the
court,
APC
and the Supreme Court eventually says he won, that's the end.
Let's follow the issues now.
Yes.
The APC has clearly said, it doesn't matter to us whether Mr. President has congratulated. We're looking at the issues and we'll decide whether to go to court. Now, what is important here is to look at the issues, albeit dispassionately. Adeleke has never hidden his love for the president. And don't forget that in the build-up to this election, he went with his elder brother to see Mr. President. And they reached certain understandings. My friend and brother, Festus Kayamo, was open enough to say, Adeleke, now that you have won, agreement should be agreement. Now, whether we like it or not, is, you see, don't forget also that when the EFCC froze the account of the state, the president ordered for the account to be defrozen. Now, don't also forget that 2 days before the election, the president gave instructions to the Inspector General of Police and the INEC to be dispassionate and allow for free, fair, and credible election. I think that beyond a motive and emotional assessment of the Osun scenario, the point is, have you wondered, for those 3 hours that the IRF went quiet, what may have been the back-end discussions? Have you wondered why Adeleke comes out and immediately reiterates his commitment to supporting Mr. President in 2027? And have you wondered why the police, as it were, on election day were much more dispassionate than they were in the build-up to the campaigns? These are all conjectures. But what is important for me going into 2027 is a call to the opposition not to be deceived. I think that Mr. President is playing the role of a smart politician here. One more state, albeit surreptitiously, in his kitty. If the opposition rises to that understanding, then they will begin to re-strategize. And my advice here is that the APC is defeatable only through a formidable opposition. If the candidates as they stand today go to the polls in 2027, it will be clearly coronating the Bola Ahmed Tinubu return to Aso Rock in 2027. And what must they do, if you ask me? I think at the time, and I'm going to state a honest nest, the seeming disapproval of the Bola Ahmed Tinubu presidency, seeming disapproval in the North, the candidate who can best harvest that seeming disapproval is candidate citizen Atiku Abubakar. And the North has the largest voter demography. That's point one. Number two, it is not too late in the day, I believe, for substitution of candidates. And I think that what the group of 100 should be doing is engaging with all the candidates on the opposition to bury individual ambition, egos, and aids, and think, like the name of my movement suggests, put country first. You ask me, can citizen Peter Gregory win standing alone with Kwakwanso? And the answer is a capital letter no.
They can't.
They can't.
Really?
I'll give you 4 quick reasons. If it were in 2023, I can say yes. As we stand today, Kano, the strongest base of Rabiu Kwakwanso, is divided. I don't even think, if we want to be dispassionate and truthful, that Kwakwanso and his Kwakwansia movement can win Kano. The man who was the linchpin of their campaign, who was a candidate of a party that Kwakwanso ran with in 2023, is now in the APC. The former national chairman, the incumbent governor, and the former national chairman of the APC is in Kano. I think the speaker of the National Assembly or so, is it Kaduna?
It's Kaduna, actually.
Okay.
Kaduna.
But you know that he's in the Northwest. Now, the tendencies are clearly very broad. Kano was united under Kwakwanso in 2023. Kano is no longer united under one tendency is 2027. These are fundamental issues. So for those who blow up the Kwakwansia movement and the phenomenon, equating it to what happened in 2023, I think they are being smart by half. That's one. Number two, the preponderant sentiments of the North, across the lines of religion, across the lines of ethnicity and the likes, is still a very formidable phenomenon. And then there's this third leg, which is that the South has produced Southern presidents since 1999. They spent more time in power. With Tinubu now, it's about almost 20 years or so. And then the North, only Buhari, and about 18 and 10. Now, if you look at those realities and the sentiments in the North, you will understand that to win the presidency, to defeat Tinubu, you must galvanize a whole lot of this. And looking at it dispassionately, I've told people, and you remember that I've said that I'm not an Atiku campaigner, but the ticket that can beat Bola Ahmed Tinubu come January 2027 is an Atiku Obi ticket. Atiku at the top of the ticket and Peter Gregory as a vice presidential candidate. People will call me names, but if we truly love country and if we truly want to defeat Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027, it is a ticket that appeals across the country. And some will say, we're not talking about the student union presidency. We're talking about a national contestation, a presidential election. I'd ask, beyond even the canon that has become very contentious, where else in 2023 did Kwakwanso win? And going forward, I do sincerely think that, it was Sir Walter Scott, who said, "What a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive." Oftentimes, there are a lot of people who are goading and nudging Peter Gregory to say no because there's an obedient waves, truly so. It worked effectively in 2023. It is clearly less potent than it was in 2023, but they still believe that with Peter Obi standing alone, they are likely to win House of Rep seats. They are likely to win senatorial seats. So they continue to goad him on and tell him, oh, you can win without Atiku. But I tell you, just like the lesson we must learn from Oshun, Adeleke was an incumbent. And so is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu going to be an incumbent in 2027. And the phenomenon is all bit different because you already have 31 governors from the APC and they're going to be involved in the 2027 contestation. You have an Adeleke who is not in the APC who is saying, I will support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You have a governor of Anambra State who is not in the APC who says he will support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And off record, the tales in the market says that the governor of Abia State has emotional attachment and sympathy to Tinubu ticket. So whether you like it or not, you have about 33 governors who sympathize with the Tinubu ticket. So if you must defeat that behemoth, you must have a coalition that is strong enough to appeal across board.
You said a lot that we need to carefully unpack. But let's start from the beginning. Oshun election that you referenced had about 18 political parties on the ballot. At the end of the day, only 3 got, in fact, only 2 got any significant votes. 511,000 votes for the winner, Accord Party, the incumbent governor, Demo Adeleke. 444,000 votes for the closest challenger, Oyebamiji of the APC. The distance, in fact, I don't know if there's any other word, the farthest, third was ADC.
17,000.
That got 17,000. So, I mean, remove 17,000 from 444. The third guy who got 444 can actually give ADC the guy the 44,000 on top of his 100 and still. So what am I saying? Does this not nullify your argument of coalition? Because Ademola Adeleke still won, even with 18 political parties. I mean, APM, ZLP, AC, ADP, and all of those. Ademola Adeleke still won handily. Respond to that before I take on.
It deepens the frontiers of my argument because the Adeleke ticket is the incumbent ticket.
If all the remaining, apart from the first 3, if the remaining 15 parties had joined together, even with ADC,
it wouldn't have been joining. It would have been from the start. You wouldn't have had those tickets. The tickets would have coalesced from the beginning, and then they would have campaigned along with the other ticket. Now, so what we're saying is, if early enough we're able to have a coalition of sorts, where in the build-up to 2027 general election, it becomes a 2-horse race, it becomes very difficult for the incumbent to return.
Okay, great. Second issue that you raised, and which is very deeply, touching, and is about to grate nerves, The horse already bolted from the stable. How do I mean? You have hard lines now. Peter Obi is the candidate of the NDC. He's brought Kwankwanso to be his running mate. Atiku ADC. He's brought Rotimi Amechi. My brother, we started talking about the obedience. How do you tell Peter Obi now to step down and pitch his stance with Atiku? How do you even tell a Rotimi Amechi to step down? Can you square this circle for me, please?
Let me tell you, for nation, if we truly, truly love our country, if we truly want the administration that everyone seems to be saying is not doing well to be voted out, there must be huge sacrifices.
Thank you for watching that video. So guys, before you leave, look at the down here. Do well to subscribe and also put on your notification bell so that whenever we upload any video